Welcome to this 10-minute yoga practice for shin splints. My name's Joelle and we'll get started right away, sitting the hips back towards the heels. So that might mean leaning forwards with the hands in front of you, perhaps not bringing the hips all the way back. Or perhaps you have a little bit more space today and you can simply sit back on those heels, resting the hands on the thighs. Start to tune into your breath here. In and out through the nose, and then come to hands and knees. Lift up the right knee and start circling the right ankle a few times. And then reversing the circle with that ankle, strengthening all the areas connected to painful shins today. Really nice. And then extend that right leg out behind you. Bring the top of the foot to the mat and just gently rock the body a little bit left and right. Just an inch or two should do it, stretching out through the top of that foot. Breathing deeply here. Wonderful. And then step the right foot forward. So we're in a short lunge, a boxy lunge. You can keep the fingertips on the mat and think about lifting your right toes. Or you can prop yourself up on your front thigh if you prefer with the hands. So the toes may or may not lift off the floor, but the intention is what we're looking for. We're strengthening, again, the front of that lower leg and the top of the ankle, all of those areas that can be responsible for shin splints. And then you can sit back towards your left heel. Right foot can be flexed or pointed, or you might like to alternate between flexing and pointing, maybe at the rhythm of your breath. And then keep that point really extending through the toes far out in front of you. Before rocking yourself forwards, back to hands and knees, shake it off a little bit. Nicely done. We'll try that sequence on the other side, picking up your left knee to circle the left ankle a few times in one direction. And reversing your circle. You might notice if this feels a little bit easier or harder than on the first side. And then stretching that left leg long behind you, top of the foot to the mat. And very softly rocking those hips and the top of the foot from left to right. So from the big toe side of the foot to the little toe. And not pressing too hard here, just a tiny bit of pressure, top of the foot against the mat. Beautiful. Releasing that to step your way into that boxy lunge, fingertips on the mat or maybe palms to the front thigh, and then lifting the toes and the ball of the foot. So it's just the left heel that's staying on the mat here. Really a strengthening move here. Notice the sensations. I know this can be very challenging, particularly with shin splints. Trust that this is helping. And then sitting back towards your right heel, flexing and pointing through the left foot a few times. You might lean the upper body forwards. And then holding that point here. And rocking your way back up so that we can return to hands and knees. Shoulders over, wrists, tuck the back toes, and then use the strength of the abs to lift your way back into downward facing dog. You can pedal out those feet a few times. And then inhale to bend the knees towards the chest, lifting the heels. And exhale to straighten the legs and press the heels back. So take that movement a few times at the pace of your own breath. And a little bit of ankle work here, a little bit of foot strengthening as well. And then take a big step forwards with the right foot. Give it a little helping hand if it needs to. Fingertips framing that front foot and just rocking forwards and back with the left leg stretched long behind you in this high lunge. You can add on by maybe starting to straighten that front leg a little bit each time you come back. Shifting from a lunge to a pyramid pose, maybe even lifting the toes and the ball of the foot once more, rocking onto that front heel as you come back. And then settle into your lunge and step the left foot forwards to join the right. Bend the knees and we'll very slowly roll up to standing. So take your time getting here, no rush. Rolling the shoulders back. And once you've arrived, gently placing the top of the right foot to the mat, and you could keep the hands to your waist. Or you might inhale them above the head. And exhale to pull the elbows down towards the ribs. And a few times here, just distracting the lower body with a little bit of movement in the upper body. And last time, inhale the arms high. Exhale, hugging the elbows in and release. Give that foot a little shake. Step it out from side to side. And then placing top of the left foot to the mat. And gently holding here with the hands to your waist. Or you might again take those inhales and exhales, reaching tall with the arms and hugging the elbows to your sides. And last movement here. And we'll free up that foot, shake it out. Notice how you're feeling. And then inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, forward folds. Inhaling to a flat back, reach the crown forwards. And then exhale, step the right foot back so that we're in a lunge with the left foot forwards. And beginning with those rocks, just an inch or two forwards and back. Pressing back through the back heel. Fingertips on the mat. And then progressively adding on, perhaps as you come back you start to straighten a little bit through that front leg, shifting towards a pyramid pose. So you can inhale forwards, exhale back, maybe lifting the ball of the foot. You might hold in one place if that feels good for you. And then releasing the motion, and simply step your way back to hands and knees. Give yourself a moment here to reconnect with your breath. And sitting back towards the heels, again, maybe you keep the hands in front of you, maybe fingertips on the mat behind the body. Or ultimate stretch for the shins and tops of the feet, you might play around with lifting the knees. And this might be something that many of us work towards, perhaps regularly coming back to this practice. So never forcing anything that does not feel right for today. Wherever you are, just breathe and feel the stretch. And if your knees were lifted, you can bring them softly back down. Allow yourself to take a moment here of gratitude. Thank yourself for your efforts. And I thank you for joining me. And you might like to click the first link below this video to get my tight hips fix. Tight hips often being linked to pain in the shins. And otherwise, I hope you'll hit that like button if you enjoyed this one. And I look forward to seeing you soon.